Howdy, so this is one of them weird big videos. Next to me here I have a very classic Mjolnir Man slash Austin drink combo of bottled water and iced black coffee, because this will kind of tie into a very, very belated anniversary celebration. Crossing the Rubicon is a turn of phrase that ever since I have lived in my apartment has crossed my mind and has just randomly popped in my head. Embarrassingly enough, I must admit, I had no idea what that turn of phrase meant until just today. So that's why I feel that that is a very befitting video title. Basically, I won't leave you out in the cold if you didn't know like I didn't. I'll take note of that. Look at 111. But basically, to cross the Rubicon is to make a final decision on something that is unchangeable, or can't be taken back, basically, like a permanent final decision on a matter. And it ties in a lot with a specific cycle of my life that I'm pretty sure that the numbers, Mason. The numbers, what do they mean? I think they mean to tell me that I needed to move on and start a new cycle in life, right? Hear me out. I might just be crazy. I might just be tweaking out and adding things up that don't make no sense. And that's fine. Let me just occupy myself with my semantics. But here's the thing. 9 years of my life have led up to this moment. 9 is a very significant number to me. And so is 19, and we'll get into that soon. So, numerology is probably one of the only new agey occult sciences that I even really pay attention to anymore. I've foregone tarot cards, I've foregone astrology, but for some reason I really do believe that there is real and true magic within numbers. I pay attention to things like angel numbers, and then I pay attention to the bigger signs. But anyhow, I am a life path 9, and 9 is also special to me because that is the day of the month that I was born in. I was born on the 9th. 19 is significant to me because that is like a self-chosen important number to me that, funnily enough, I decided at 9 that I really liked 19. When I was 19, the following 9-year cycle that I believe I just closed out began. I'll give you a very abridged history. I don't want to air dirty laundry out. I'm just telling my story, honestly. So, when I was 19 in the winter of 2016, I was very taken back because my parents seemingly suddenly decided to take their arguing to the next level and separate. But what threw me off so bad about the whole thing, and I'll never forget this very obscure YouTube video that I'm not even sure is up on my channel anymore. But I made a video during the 2016 presidential race season about the Nevada caucuses and the results of that. And I'll never forget that because that was tied into what was probably one of the last good days I remember having with my biological parents and myself as like a family unit, right? It was really weird. We had like this big day. We kind of went out into the town and window shopped a little bit, walked around town. We ate at a nice restaurant, and then we kind of closed the night out by ice skating. It was pretty fun, you know. And I'll never forget, I filmed that video, I posted it, and probably about 2 hours after I posted that video, I just heard my parents fighting again, you know. And I heard my dad kind of storm out of the house. But it sounded a lot different than typical. But I didn't think much of it at the same time. I was also developing a drinking habit because of constant anxiety from being in like an environment like this. Because I guess I never really took the time to think maybe the situation I was in was fucked up. But how could I? It was all I knew at that point in life. I mean, I literally thought that was how a normal family function was like. You know, one of your parents is mean all the time, one of your parents is a pushover, and it's just caused constant fights between each other, and you're just kind of caught in that ambiance, you know? And unfortunately, I feel like it kind of influenced a lot of my preferences and dating partners later on in my life. And that's neither here nor there at this point. It was rough, you know. I was 19, unemployed, and now my house was really unhappy. And I didn't know where my dad was. And, you know, my mom was miserable all the time. I tried to stay out of the way as much as I could at a certain point. I couldn't take seeing my mom so miserable all the time. And I tried to still have like a relationship with my father at this time. But he was almost impossible to reach. I mean, I almost never heard from him during this time. So I personally just kind of stopped talking to him. So I turned to alcohol, and I just started doubling down really bad on alcohol. And by the age of 20, you know, my drinking got pretty concerning. Then I started adding other things into that mix. Luckily, the worst of it calmed down by the time I was 21, so this is probably 2018. Early 2018. I met someone, it was my first real connection, and it became an unhappy connection pretty quick. Just long enough for me to, like, you know, be sold, you know, hook, line, and sinker. And then everything switched up really quick, and it made no sense to me. And I got mad about it, and I vented to it to some people that I should not have vented to. And that was the whole thing. But I need to stop, you know. What I'll say is this. I went through a lot of stuff with that one. But at the same time, I have to give props where they're due. My first partner was really the first person to teach me to stick up for myself. My first partner really did do good work for my family, though, by do good work by basically, breaking the news that some fuck shit was going on with one of my parents, as in someone was being unfaithful, living a double life. So, we still don't know if she had like her own agenda with that, but at the same time, I don't really care. I think it made everybody better off in the end. But obviously that connection didn't last. Even some of the worst people can teach you some of the most valuable lessons. You know what I'm saying? And then, I went through everything with the second one and the third one. But that's besides the point. When I moved after my second heartbreak, the one that really took a lot out of me, I had everything I wanted in life, almost. A very likely spouse, a child on the way, and I lost everything, But, I probably didn't deserve it back then. And I think that's okay to admit. Not to mention, I would not have been ready in the slightest. The last leg of it was just dealing with the burnout from all of it, I moved into an apartment building in a shitty neighborhood. And I did not have internet access for months. So what I did was just live dead broke, I used to wash laundry in the freaking shower, I used to light candles and put terracotta plants and prop them over as kind of DIY space heaters. A lot of weird things I used to do. So I'll give props to my second partner that I ever was with. They were the first one to teach me to kind of honor myself or take care of myself, I didn't really care about my well-being or didn't really think about it much until I met them. And it was nice. It was really nice to meet such a nurturing person. What can I say? I'll always remember that Bruce and somewhat fondly, as fucked up as the situation was. The third person, I was already living on my own for about a year when I met them. And like I said in the past, really all I realized was it's not what I wanted to do. And then I broke up with that person pretty much right before I came back to YouTube. And I've just been focused on this move. When I moved to this apartment, I lived on the 3rd floor, man. And my apartment number was 306. Add that together, and that's 9. And that's when I realized I was on the last leg of whatever I was supposed to be doing. I didn't put that together till the second to last day of my lease. I wasn't even living there at the time. I was living here, actually, just cleaning it out before the end of my lease. I lived there for 33 months. Not in that apartment, but most of my 33 months in that city, I was there. And it was a really isolating, stale in a sterile way, is how I would describe that apartment. It's a really lonely place to be in when you really got no contact with the outside world, you know? So I was, basically in a situation I was forced to just sit there and hash it out with myself, and I realized a lot of stuff about myself I didn't like in that time. And I started to work on it, There was a lot of drama and a lot of health drama that set me back for a long time, though, but I'm through it for the most part, and I just realized towards the end I've outgrown, and I don't like to say it hurts people's feelings, I feel, when I say this, but there's not much left for me here in Indiana. And there could be a world of opportunity here for other people. I just want different things out of life, that's all. So I've been met with excitement and anger upon people receiving this news. But I've decided to cross the Rubicon, and there's no turning back now. Anyways, that's about all, except for the fact I wanted to toast real quick. Oh, didn't say the toast yet. 10 years of content creation on and off on YouTube. My first video was 10 and a half years ago. I was a 17-year-old boy. And that's what I really love about this channel, is these obscure, shitty fucking vlogs nobody wants to watch that are just kind of a memoir for myself. And, I look back on several years down the line, because it's crazy to me that I own something on the internet that I've been posting to, that there's stuff from when I was in high school. Days I hardly remember in my life anymore. It's just a really beautiful thing. And I've been through some soul-crushing depression lately, but all I can say is life is a really rich experience, and as much of a curse as it is, it's also quite the gift. Well, it's really all I have anymore to say. It's been real, Indiana. I don't know what to do from here, I'm half Jewish, so I can say this, but that scene in the Schindler's List where they finally get liberated by the Soviets, and he's like, well, where do we go? And then the Polish guy on the horse, he's like, well, I wouldn't go east. They don't like you over there. I wouldn't go west, neither. I'm the dude that's like, we could use some food. Anyways, that's enough of that shit for now. I'm pretty excited. I don't know what more to say. Wow. I'm pretty excited. I don't know what more to say. And I can't wait to hit the ground running.